About this is analyst Brian Sobel. And Brian, Republicans were really hoping to swiftly elevate Brett Kavanaugh onto the Supreme Court. This slows things down tremendously.
Absolutely. And as we've talked over time, I said that the one thing that could stop this is a bump in the road. I called it, and this was the bump in the road.
Do you see this nomination sort of slipping away now?
Not necessarily yet. We'll have to see the testimony on Monday by both of these individuals, and whether other people will testify, by the way, and we can judge what people remember, and it's 35 years ago, so it'll be interesting.
Does that matter, how old this allegation is?
Only from the standpoint that when you go that many years, is your memory still the same as it was contemporaneously to the event? For example, Kavanaugh has said he doesn't even remember attending that party. Well, if somebody can prove he was at that party, it's got a problem.
Yeah, he has said that he is willing to answer questions about this allegation. And in that statement, it was a very blanket statement. He said, I did not do this to this woman or anyone else.
Yep.
I mean, that is a pretty significant statement.
Well, and it's one that can get you into a lot of trouble. We remember a former president saying he didn't have any relations with a certain woman, and then eventually that all came out in time. But it's a matter of whether, in this case, the person who had this terrible experience, whether she had talked to anybody at that time, to girlfriends, to parents.
She said some sort of, marriage therapy, and that's when this sort of came about. But if there is no one who can corroborate either her story or his, it does sort of come down to this he said, she said.
Right, and there's every likelihood it will come down to that based on what we're hearing at this hour. But, we don't know what will come in the next day. With that as a backdrop, then how do senators make a choice?
Right, that is going to be the question,
exactly.
Right? From the Republican perspective, though, this certainly puts a lot seriously. We are in the midst of this Me Too movement.
That's correct.
You cannot discount what she is saying, and as Kellyanne Conway said earlier, she needs to be heard.
Right.
But so does the judge.
I think that's the key point. Kellyanne Conway, and a lot of people have had their issues with her, said the right thing today, that she's to be respected and listened to and judged on what she says. Absolutely right. And then she added the comma, and the rest of the sentence was, and so does he. And that's true. That's the way it should be.
All right. We will indeed see what happens on Monday. A lot of people are going to be watching that and then see what happens after that in regards to the confirmation proceedings. All right. Brian Sobel, always a pleasure.